Hey, this is Korji. Today I'm going to show you how to make the bass in this track. I mean, we're not recreating the exact bass, but I'm going to show you the technique I used to make this bass. The general idea of this bass is it's a traditional Sidechain bass with the cutoff frequency a bit lower than usual. So let's just load this up and put this on the mixer channel. Kind of a sus. Alright, so initialize the preset, and we're going to change the oscillator to basic shapes, or which is this one here. To start off with, we can put the attack to 0, doesn't matter too much. Leave the release as is. We might change that a bit later, and let's just make a quick envelope for the filter. So hold down Shift Alt, click, and bring the cutoff down like this. Turn the filter on, and we're going to use low pass 24 for this one. This bass has almost no high end at all, so we don't really need to use these other more subtly sloped filters. And also, this bass is primarily for lower keys, such as D, C, up to like F, I guess. Those are the sweet spots that I think work best for this bass. Let's make a quick pattern while we're at it. Awesome. Now I'm just going to make this envelope like this and like that. Change the mode to envelope. BPM off, rate to, let's have a listen. Around here, it's a bit of a slower envelope that we have, nothing too quick. Oh, and randomize phase off. You're really just concentrating on the mids and the lows for this bass, so it's all about squeezing the loudness out in that area. Turn the resonance off, and I might emphasize it a bit more with some drive. Let's have a look on Sidescope. So that's basically all you need for Serum. Now the main characteristic of this bass comes from multiple instances of Saturn. So you grab Saturn, turn the drive off, and add 4 bands, or however many bands you like, or no bands if you want. I find that adding different bands helps to accentuate the dispersion effect. That's up to you, you can trial and error this. Exit out of that. I'm just going to make 3 instances just to hear what that sounds like first. So it's a subtle difference if you're not listening on good speakers. You do need to hear the sub in order to understand what's really going on here. So I'll turn the effects off and let's have a little comparison. So you should be able to hear that it just genuinely sounds fatter as a result of just these multiple instances of a one plugin. I'm going to load up 2 more. Oh, that's so nice. Probably not necessary. Alright, so we got, what, 5 instances of Saturn? And that's basically all there is to make the bass sound fat. From there, we're going to squeeze some loudness out of it using Maximus. And the main part that you want to get the loudness out of is that sub area, so this low band. We will compress the mids a little bit, and you'll notice later on that there's no high-end information. So solo the lows, and oh yeah, turn the low cut off. And don't worry too much about compressing too much, do compress too much. This is all about compressing too much. Compress the hell out of it. Like, this is not about dynamics, this is about a fat bass. Other times you do want dynamics, of course, but in this case, you're just trying to make a wall of sound. You can see what it looks like. We can mess with the attack, release, and sustain times to squeeze a bit more out. The faster these are, the more distortion gets added to it though, so be careful there. As you can hear, there's distortion coming in now. So that's a bit too much. Unless that's your desired effect that you're after. I'm not after that though. I think that's the best I'm going to get before it adds distortion. Alright, mids. I just turned the pre up so I have a bit more room to play with, because before it was so quiet that it'll be a pain to try to compress that. We are going to compress this a little bit less drastically. We do want a bit more of dynamics here because we want to emphasize the fact that there's punch coming in, and the way to emphasize that is usually to put emphasis on the transient, which is that starting point there. Okay, let's have a listen. That's very nice. One other thing. Just going to turn the release up a bit. I'm doing that because I heard a bit of clicking, and I didn't really want to have that in there. Alright, sick. Last step is just a limiter to squeeze the last final bit of loudness out of it. Yeah. Let's have a comparison. So we got a bit more lightness out of it. That's the sound. Now here, we're going to add some sidechain so that we get rid of that bleeding that may mess with the kick. You'll notice here that if you have multiple instances of Saturn, the waveform actually does start to have a longer tail. So notice here, without the effects, the bass ends around here. And when you turn on the effects, it ends much later. And this region here is actually where the kick's meant to play. So we're going to sidechain and get rid of that part. Here I'm just making sure that the sidechain goes down in volume and has a little fade just before the kick hits again. You kind of do need to fade it a little bit so that you don't hear clicking. Alright, let's have a listen to it with the kick. I did mention before that kicks usually are at -3 in sidetrans. You could try to bump it up to 0 even for this part. That's personal preference there. Sweet, that's the sound. I hope that was helpful. I have a website if you're interested in buying my samples, so you can check that out in the description below. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.